Hello everyone, today is Friday, June 25th, 2010. This is Global Government News. I am Darko. This article that I'm covering is by Reuters and it's titled G20 Protesters Win Small Victory vs. Sound Cannon. How you like that, guys? So while the banks are hooking up together and deciding on a global bank tax to so they could have a pool of money to give to these bankers that help cause these financial crises in order to steal from us. And then they see, this is the irony of it, these bastards get paid money by the tax dollars for money that is stolen from consumers, which are basically taxpayers, right? So they steal from us, and then they steal money from us again through the government, through world government, to pay them for stealing from us. But anyways, G20 protesters win small victory versus sound cannon. I'm not sure if this is the actual LRAD, long-range acoustical device, which emits piercing sounds to basically incapacitate people or make them go away or go in the other direction. It's pretty annoying. I haven't heard it personally on the ground live, but I have listened to it. Unfortunately, I had to listen to it while I was watching the last, it was either the G8 or the G20, I'm not really sure, but it was in Pittsburgh, the last showing of the police state, big time, besides Copenhagen, where it was full force as well. But this LRAD is not good stuff. They say it could actually cause permanent damage. But it says a Canadian judge handed protesters of the G20 summit in Toronto a small victory on Friday, restricting the use of a controversial sound cannon for crowd control. And that's exactly what it's called. It's called crowd control non-lethal weapons. They have the rubber bullets, they have tear gas, and they have this LRAD, which is usually hooked up to a paddy wagon or whatever you want to call it. These they're not even really paddy wagons anymore. They look like something out of Terminator 2. They're like SWAT team vans, tactical, with all kinds of little gadgets in there, little mini Homeland Security, mobile Homeland Security vehicle. It says Toronto police agreed to amend their guidelines for use of the cannon, keeping volumes below the maximum and not using the device for close distances. Isn't that sweet of these? I guess you just call them fascists because they're not really for liberty or freedom, especially freedom of speech. The police agreed to keep the volumes below the maximum, because the maximum could cause permanent hearing damage, and that's why the people don't like them, besides the fact that they're used to disperse people from exercising their rights. But I guess in Canada maybe you don't have rights, and not using the device from close distances. Says the portable loudspeakers, I like how they say that, the portable loudspeakers. It's not a portable loudspeaker, man. It freaking is loud. It hurts your ears. The portable loudspeaker are also known as sonic guns because the volume, see, sonic guns, non-lethal weapons, because the volume specifically on the alert function that emits an ear-piercing beeping sound can be turned up so high that they can be used as weapons. So see, I didn't read this article before I started this video, guys. I understand this, and I'm sure that a lot of you do as well. It just pisses me off because I already know about all this, and I'm already aware that it could cause hearing damage and what it's capable of. And yeah, it's like some kind of fucking victory because they're not going to be using it on the slaves. What a joke. I have concluded that a very real likelihood exists that demonstrators may suffer damage to their hearing from the proposed use of the alert function at certain distances and volumes, Ontario's Superior Court Justice David Brown wrote in his ruling. You think, buddy? The Canadian Civil Liberties Association and Canadian Labour Congress had sought an injunction curbing police use of the cannon, and their lawyer, Paul Cavalluzzo, said Toronto police went overboard what this application shows is that the police are accountable to the citizens of Toronto, that police are there to serve and protect us, not to endanger our safety. What a bunch of crap. Police said they hope they would never have to use the device, and it said, in a quote, "We'll use the alert if necessary in accordance with the guidance by the court." Police Staff Superintendent Jeff McGuire said, "We would hope not to have to use it, and quite frankly, I'd be surprised if we do." And up in Canada, it's a little, I don't want to say it's a little different, but it is a little different from the United States. People are a little more on edge down here, and they're a little more open and vocal with their grievances, unlike Canada. And so it is used down here. It's definitely used with the tear gas, with the rubber bullets, everything. It's like a little war combat, a fog of war scenario down in the States when they have these things, when they use them. So, but I don't know. Maybe the sheep will just be peaceful, as they call it, right? Peaceful. Peaceful means not resisting what they're doing. You don't need to bring about violence, or you don't need to use violence to bring about change. You can do it peacefully. But like I just want to stipulate, their version of peace is capitulation and laying down and not voicing your opinions. You should be able to peacefully voice your opinions with a bullhorn. But they have this thing called the Public Works Act. Thanks to Tech Junkie, I just watched a video and of his covering the G20, where he included a lot of good information, including all the phone numbers to the Toronto Police and different departments, agencies, and whatnot. And yeah, he included in there how people were being terrorized with these fascist Gestapo SS up there in Canada, who are protecting the global elites and the puppets that work for them. We call them presidents or kings or queens or prime ministers, but they are nothing more than puppets that work for these global banks, and that's why they have a fortress set up, according to Russian TV. They literally, check out one of my videos, they literally set up these walls, these fences 12 feet high, to keep the slaves from getting anywhere near close to this meeting of criminals there in Toronto, and that's who the police are protecting. They're protecting the interests of their masters, the bankers and the puppets, and the New World Order. But Canada, Toronto, I'm not sure if it's Canada all Canada-wide. I'm sure it's not. I'm pretty sure it's just Toronto. But this Public Works Act is used to where it's kind of like a Homeland Security, kind of a nice little fascist law, where if you're walking around, they have to, they get to ID you, protesters and all that. And basically, it's being used for people that are way far away from the actual G20 summit, and where the protesters are. They're going around in parks, taking phone numbers of people, and snapping pictures of them. And of course, the cops and the Gestapo, they don't like when you take pictures of them. They don't like that. But you'll see them in plain clothes, these pieces of shit. And I don't want to fearmonger here. I'm just saying, I'm venting my feelings of this whole scenario, because this is a part of our reality now. This is part of our world. Is that they have these guys going around in civilian clothes that are acting like protesters, and they're starting stuff with real protesters, and they're provocateuring, talking shit, and then they walk around and they're taking pictures and photographs, and they're putting all of you in a database. They're out there protesting. So yes, protest peacefully, but just know that your name is going into a database as a political dissenter. So Godspeed and good luck. Oh, and one last thing, gotta mention this. Canada is spending about $1 billion on, or 1 billion Canadian dollars, whatever, on security for the 2 international summits. So not only are all those police going to be protecting these puppets and these international thieves, eugenicists, the taxpayers are going to pay $1 million for their slave masters to be protected. Thank you.